Article from Army Times. Foreboding Army PSY-OPS recruitment video shows who's pulling the strings. A lot of people were bringing this up to us saying it was a really, really creepy video. I want to play it. It is a little long, but I've not seen it. But Daniel was just bringing up that the CIA, or intelligence agencies, get so much wrong. And I wonder, are they really getting it wrong, or are they just trying to manipulate you? Perhaps you assume that they're a bunch of bumbling, slipping on banana peels, and maybe that's what they want you to think. Because Sun Tzu had quotes about this, right? When you're strong, make your enemy believe you are weak. When you are weak, make your enemy believe you are strong. So I've never seen this. I don't know if we can play the full thing, but we'll play Ghosts in the Machine, a controversial psychological operations advertisement from the Army.
Is there sound
nice?
If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him.
That sounds like Sun Tzu.
Pretend to be weak that he may grow arrogant. You see?
My man.
Sun Tzu. All right. This is getting pretty creepy.
Love that guy. Oh, clowns.
Strong start.
Have you ever wondered?
The peaceful pro-democracy demonstration in China comes to a violent and bloody end. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Who's pulling the strings?
Wolves hiding nearby, whispering.
Born from the ashes. Is that the emblem of the psychological operation or something? A world at war? You'll find us in the shadows.
This is inspiring.
At the tip of the spear. A threat rises in the east.
What the heck is this?
Russia invades Ukraine.
Oh, it's pretty new.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah, this is from earlier this month. Warfare is evolving.
Who put this out?
This is 4th PSYOP group,
I am intrigued.
and all the world's a stage. Yo, this is creepy.
It's like a movie.
Shakespeare.
There is another very important phase of warfare. It has as its target not the body, but the mind of the enemy.
The target of psychological warfare is against the enemy's mind.
It is words and ideas.
Ammunition used by PSY-WAR.
Anything we touch is a weapon.
Its mission is to influence the thoughts of the
We
enemy
can
soldier,
deceive,
and at the same time
is expected and encouraged
Persuade.
to study foreign languages and the social sciences such as
Change.
history, economics, and sociology. He
influence.
must have a broad and sympathetic understanding of all
Inspire.
phases of human experience.
Gripping at my skin, the walls of night closing.
We come in many forms.
but the use of this force as an integral part of combat has now taken on new form.
We are everywhere.
That's what they want you to think.
To say my last goodbye.
A feeling in the dark. A message in the stars. Ghosts in the Machine. What are we? PSY-WAR.
What the heck?
What is this? Really it?
Who put that together?
Army
That's
PSYOPS
insane.
recruitment video. That's what they're saying.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to fact check that.
No
That's
way.
interesting.
So I can
on the
respond to
nose.
that silliness. Okay.
It's all fake. It's all boring.
Oh my God. Okay, a couple of things.
I would join.
Right.
I know, right? I'm
No.
in. Let's go.
feel like
So,
you already did.
I'll tell you, we get by. That is to say, in the intelligence community, folks get by with this kind of stuff. Everybody thinks that, intel people are 10 feet tall and they're scary and amazing. They can do anything they want. James Bond. But I'm telling you, that ain't how it is. All right. I can share this story with you. I was looking to work with our group of folks who go out into the world and hire NOCs, right? Those are people that we would never officially recognize as intelligence officers. And I asked our NOC hiring officials, what do you look for? And she said to me, we don't look for the F students, obviously, or the D students, as it were, sort of A, B, C, D, F, the grades, right? D or F students, those kids wouldn't work. But we can't hire A and B because they're too good and smart. And they don't want to put up with the bureaucratic baloney that this place has. So what we have to try to find is like a good, solid C+ student.
That's me.
So you, sir, well, I'll put in a good word for you, since I'm still a Fed.
I think it actually is just like the movies because I've seen a lot of Burn Notice.
Yeah.
And you do look and talk like Michael Weston.
Is that right? Okay. So no matter what I say,
so they want people that are not so adherent to authority that they'll get A's and B's because that's what they're told to do, but they're not so stupid that they can't follow along. That they're willing to join, but they're also willing to betray.
A and B students are after, they have ambition, but they want efficiency. They want accomplishments. You can go out into the private sector and earn a ton of money. You can go be successful as your A and B students, but your C+ student, they tend to struggle more in life. So you need somebody that isn't quite tip of the spear, as that video just said, right? Mm-hmm. So that's but that shouldn't be true, by the way. We should want A students and B students working for our government because we want efficiency, we want smarts, we want the best we can get. So I don't buy that video because of that, having been on the inside. But I understand why people might think that that's true. The only other quick caveat I'd add is there is one part of me that loves that because when I was out as an officer, I was meeting with a source, and he was like, why aren't you taking notes? I'm telling you all these great and amazing things. Well, I didn't need to. I was able to capture it. And he paused. He's like, wait a minute. I've seen the movies. Do you have a microphone in your shoe? And I was like, I do. And he was like, oh, this is so cool.
Burn Notice was a cool show, man. One of my favorite scenes is when... You guys have seen Burn Notice, right?
Negative, no.
You never seen it? It's so good. So it's this former CIA contractor, and he's always trying to... He's basically a contractor now for private individuals, trying to help the little guy. And he explains to you how he does things and why. And it's fascinating. So he's trying to scare a bad guy. So he takes a cell phone, tapes it to a box, and then runs the power cable to the wall to make him think there's a bomb. And he was like, that's like the psychological manipulation stuff. So that's what that show does. I love that show. That show is amazing.
So what I will tell you that this contracting thing is actually really important. So we just watched, if this is the Army's trying to convince everybody that they're the 10-foot monster. Mm-hmm. If you want to talk about power and the authority to influence and persuade, that power does not sit within the military and it doesn't sit within the CIA. It sits in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. It sits in New York and in D.C. in terms of those media operating rooms deciding what the editorial line for the day is going to be, what the American people need to think about. It's the people who write the headlines, knowing that 70-80% of people don't read the story, just the headline. That's your power. And if you want to shape an agenda, if you want to push people into believing something, that's where you spend your time and your money. It ain't in some whiz-bang, CIA operation that's propaganda, which, by the way, that was good back in the 50s, and it's not so great now. But anyway, that's where your power is.
One thing about the video, if we could ask your huge followers, I feel like I'm pretty well traveled in this country. I can't think of what city has bright orange subway cars. Yeah. So if all of your followers right now, if you could be like, oh yeah, that's the subway in... and they showed it twice, and I'm like, I know America pretty well. I grew up in New York City. I know subways well. I can't think. So if
I don't
anyone out there,
it's not so much the color or the shape of them. Maybe it wasn't an American city, but I will say I learned something in my quest to purchase Times Square billboards. You can actually buy an entire train and put whatever you want on it.
Let's do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I would just love to think that the Army used like the subway of Amsterdam, for a recruitment video.
I've been thinking a lot about using the media, like you were saying, to, I guess, manipulate is the word, not,
Sounds like people are saying, someone said Japan.
Oh, interesting.
Maryland, I saw Denmark.
Yes.
Oh, people are just saying whatever.
Nah, they're just saying whatever.
That
Someone
makes
said
no
Boston.
sense.
But like, how do you use the media to please everyone? And I know you can't please everyone all the time, Abraham Lincoln quote, but like, I want to really make the world better and create new technologies like running fresh water, solar powered heat, things that will make us more resilient as a species, make people laugh, make people relax. Like even the head of the CIA and Kim Jong-un want to laugh and relax a little bit, but I also got to make sure people have enough food. I don't know if there's people that actually want to starve the population so that it grows slower. You hear about Bill Gates talking about reducing the growth rate. And I don't know if there are people that really want that, which seems crazy, but other than that, like, do you think we could actually use the media? I mean, that it's possible?
Well, look, are there people in this world who have a particular agenda for an environmental issue or the global population or whatever, and then they use their money to affect that outcome? Damn straight. I mean, we have foundations in this country, all over the world, in fact, that the United States have a massive number of private family foundations that chase after whatever their own family's goals might be. Okay, so it's not... It wouldn't be a wild assumption that to hear or an argument to hear somebody say this family or this person really gets excited about X issue. Now they're really going to change all of our lives just because they and their big money want to change it. So absolutely, there's precedent for that. Every day we've got it. But the second piece, though, tell me again. It's more of like
I don't know. I'm asking if it's possible. I mean, I know you don't have the answer, but you think it's possible to fix this planet, bring people together, like all of us together?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt. Watching the ad, there's an advertisement, and it looks to be in German.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
then it was made by the army
in the subway. It looks like it's German. Yeah.
So we're talking that was the German army that was putting that out.
That's a heck of a lot better than our army.
That's how good the
ads.
psychological warfare is.
Yeah,
it's meta.
Guys.
They kept showing the Statue of Liberty. That's why I was like, they're trying to make you think it's New York, but that's not.
Let's be really honest for a second. Europe's military is a joke. Come on. In Ukraine, do you recall when things were bubbling up? What did Germany offer the Ukrainians? 5,000 helmets. Get out of here. Their military is absolutely hollowed out. So, anyway, that's ridiculous. But I will tell you, in terms of the media stuff, how can we shape? How can we encourage? How do we grow as a people, as a country, as a species, whatever it might be? No joke, and I'm not saying it because I'm here. It's this. These kinds of shows are where it happens because what you do is you encourage people to think for themselves and to think critically. You give them information and you say, hey, look, here's my bias. Here's what I think. Here's the data that supports my argument. But I'll tell you what, your call. You decide. It's up to you. That's what we have to encourage each other to do. That's what I do on my podcast. That's what you all do here on this show every day. That's how we shape the world. We now control the information. We put it out there. And if people trust us, not just because, they seem smart, but they know that day in and day out when we talk to them, we say, here's the data, you decide. Here's why it's important to you, but it's your call. Then people are less like, what are you trying to do to me? What are you trying to get me to buy? What are you trying to manipulate me to think? All I'm doing is saying, here's the information, here's what I think, but y'all make the call.
Well, that's what's so fascinating about then the role of tech, right? So here's the data, you make the decision. I work in the environmental and energy space, and here's the data. It's like, so you don't believe in climate change. I'm deplatformed from Facebook. You're not allowed to be a climate denier on Facebook. And you say, well, I'm not denying anything. I'm just saying here's a set of facts that need to be discussed, not on our platform because you don't care. And what you just said, sometimes you strike me that you say some of the sweetest, most like humanitarian things, and you said I make the world a better place and give solar heat and clean water. You know where they didn't discuss any of that sentiment, if you paid attention the last couple of days, was Davos. All those world leaders gathered and they talked about what we will do. Oh, there's the photos of that.
I had to know.
Confirmed? Germany?
Berlin.
All right.
It's Berlin.
So did we know this? That was the German army was like
great.
joining our PSY-OPS group?
I don't know why we
Maybe it
went
was
to
a
US.
filter on.
You know who was the last one that made it join the German army ad? I'm just saying.
I'm telling you,
not too soon.
They went.
Not Merkel, no.
They bought stock footage.
They did. They bought stock footage.
It
seemed like a cheaply made
subway
video.
car, from Getty Images. But anyway, your sentiment of how do we find solutions to the problems that will make the world a better, more peaceful, more healthy, more prosperous place at the individual level. You looked at those yahoos in Davos and all they did was talk about what can we do to make them obey, or how do we cut countries off the global monetary and banking system if they won't vaccinate their people, and everyone claps. And John Kerry, how do we punish people that will not accept climate change, and everyone claps. That whole thing we should have built a wall around Davos and forced them to live there and given them some primitive weapons and Hunger Games.
We got it. Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.